Tramps and Disco Inferno, 9 minutes past 8. You're listening to The Breakfast Show. Morning, guys. Next up, we have the world exclusive first play of a previously unreleased track from Freddie Mercury, which has been buried in the vaults for almost 4 years. On the phone now is a rock and roll Hall of Famer, lead singer, drummer and manager of one of the biggest British invasion bands of the 60s, who was there in the studio with Freddie for the incredible recording. Good morning, Dave Clark.
Hi, Zoe. How are you?
I'm really good. Honestly, Dave, I'm such a fan. It's a real treat to speak to you today.
My pleasure.
How are you doing, Dave? Are you well?
I'm really good. I'm really good.
Excellent stuff. So how did you end up working with Freddie in the first place?
Well, I met Freddie in the 70s and sort of got to know him then. And in the 80s, I was doing a musical, and I remember seeing the first time I saw Freddie was in Hyde Park, and I stood on the side of the stage, and he was just magic, amazing. And then when I was doing a musical, I spoke to the record company and said, you know, I'd recorded Stevie Wonder and lots of people. Yeah. And I said, I love Freddie. They said, you never get him. So his girlfriend gave me his telephone number in Munich. So I phoned him, and it was wonderful. You know, he said, come over. And I said, well, as long there's no obligation. And it was amazing.
Fantastic. Wow. Good. These stories, I mean, they're just such brilliant rock and roll stories.
Yeah.
So what was it about, because Freddie did, agree to do the recording. What is it about this recording that has made you want to revisit the audio from back then, Dave?
Well, it's a long story, Zoe. When we first recorded it, I went to Abbey Road and we run through with just Freddie and piano. Yeah. And it gave me goosebumps. It was magic. Then we got down to recording the track, and with Freddie and John Christie and another guy, we put 48 tracks of voices on the track, which had never been done in Abbey Road before. And then the whole backing, yeah. And it was 96 tracks, and it was fabulous, and the song sold over 5 million records, and it was great. But I still felt there was just something about the original rehearsal. So a decade later, I got my engineer to go down and try and find the original, and we couldn't find it. And this went on for several years. Because of all the 96 tracks, yeah. It was the very first run-through, and it was hard. Anyway, we found it in 2017, and I got it together with Mike Moran, who played piano, and I was really pleased with it. You know, it just had that thing that gave me goosebumps when I first heard it.
That's amazing. 96 tracks taken back. That's a lot of digging to find that back as well.
That's a lot, my love.
Yes.
It really is.
Of course, it was taken from Time the Musical, which was such a spectacle at the time. Amazing special effects. Cliff Richard was in it. I saw Cliff Richard in it, actually.
Oh, great.
And so now you sort of found the soundtrack again. How about reviving the performance for the West End? Would you bring Time back to the West End?
Who knows? That wasn't planned. I mean, there's not such a thing, as you know, Zoe, as never ever. I loved the show, you know, and Laurence Olivier, who was an absolute dream, who Freddie loved, you know.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, and you're such a great friend of Freddie's. And in the last year, his legacy has been put firmly back in the spotlight with the release of the film Bohemian Rhapsody. What do you think he'd make of all the attention his work's been getting recently? Yeah.
He would have loved it. I mean, the idea, you know, the thing of getting an Oscar and a Golden Globe and a BAFTA and everything else, he would have been smiling. You know, it's amazing, and he deserves it. I mean, he was, well, one of the best singers I've ever worked with, and as a person, he was he was innovative, as you know, and that's great for our industry.
Very much so. Dave, so lovely to speak to you. Dave Clark, you're an absolute legend yourself as well. A real treat to speak to you on the show this morning, and well done for finding this. This is wonderful. We're going to play it for everybody now. This is Time Waits for No One by Freddie Mercury, and it will be available for people to download to buy from 8:30 this morning. Dave, thank you so much for bringing us this special story. The wonderful Dave Clark, and here he is, Freddie Mercury. Absolutely magical. Freddie Mercury, Time Waits for No One. And thank you so much to Dave Clark for speaking to us today. And that song, if you want to buy it, you can get it from 8:30.